Living in the city that never sleeps, with an overly demanding job that I am transitioning out of, thankfully, for a new one that is challenging in its own way, I've needed to take a step back and explore what rest looks like for me. When on the brink of burnout, rest is a much needed requirement for creatives, and it can look like different things to different people. There are 7 types of rest: physical, mental, social, sensory, emotional, spiritual, and creative. Physical rest can be active or passive. Since I'm sitting down from my job all day, I gravitate toward intense active experiences, like hiking or going to concerts where I'll get to jump around a lot for a few hours. This helps ground me in my surroundings, forcing me to be more aware of how my body is feeling, and by the end of it, I usually feel a sense of satisfied exhaustion. My best night's sleep are usually after a long day of physical activity. Mental rest basically means to stop putting a demand on your mind. I love getting coffee or taking a walk or getting a meal by myself because it forces me to be present in the moment. I work on a computer all day in a field that can be quite mentally tasking, and staring at a screen for endless hours also strains my eyes. Mental rest for me looks like stepping away from the screen for a bit and remembering that there is life happening around me. That life is bigger than what's happening through my computer. This last week has been very busy. I've done a lot of socializing, a lot of networking, went to the office for an office party, which was fine. I got to meet some people that I hadn't gotten to meet that I work with, and I'm hanging out with a few later today and possibly a few more later next week. And so that's cool. I'm surprised that my social batteries have not completely drained by now. I'm going to finish eating my cereal before I head out to brunch because I can't wait that long. Okay, bye. Social rest is self-explanatory, but it's incredibly important to talk about. It's resting through social engagement. While I am an introvert, so my capacity for socializing has its limits, I do enjoy getting coffee and meals with family and friends. Since moving to the city and entering my mid-20s, I've had to adjust what it means to have other adult friends. I have a wide social circle, mostly of other introverts. And because of all of our busy schedules, I may only get to see them in person once every few months. For someone whose love language is quality time, this has been a hard adjustment. But it simply means that when I do get to spend time with each of my friends, it's all the more refreshing because there's much more to talk about. Emotional rest means reaching out to your trusted circle for support, or simply being with them can help ease some emotional stress you may be feeling. I'm blessed to have people who know where I've been and understand where I'm going, because when life becomes too demanding, it can cause a great deal of emotional distress. Imposter syndrome, frustrations with personal goals not being met yet, the comparison game, and the fear of creating an unsustainable life and of becoming obsolete all come to the surface. What's your take?
It doesn't taste non-dairy, and it makes me feel like they're lying, but it's really good. So yeah.
Sensory rest means minimizing stimuli in your environment. We are bombarded with noise demanding our attention at every angle in the modern world. Doing mindless tasks like cleaning, cooking, journaling, or collaging helps ground me. Also, just lying on my rug while watching my ceiling fan also helps when I'm too overwhelmed. Okay, so don't mind me, I'm just laying on my rug while I warm up before I have to go back out and run some errands. When those tasks aren't enough to calm down my nerves from overstimulation, I try to find time to find green spaces and explore nature. I recently went on a day trip to Montauk, where we went to the lighthouse, which was very scary to climb up. Then we went to the beach. I've never been much of a fan of the beach, but the rhythm of the waves and the fact that there weren't many people around made it a very calming experience. Spiritual rest is tapping into activities that remind you of the bigger picture. Journaling, volunteering, praying, meditating, whatever it is, it's important for creatives to see the bigger picture because it can fuel our creativity. While I have a few regular things I do to remind me of the bigger picture, the most impactful thing for me is traveling and meeting people from other backgrounds. Growing up in a tiny village of about 300 people in a farming community in Illinois, I lived in a bubble, and once I learned just how big and beautiful the world and its people are, I couldn't help but seek out ways to meet new people and have new experiences. And I strongly believe that creative people are meant to bring perspectives together in different formats, which can educate and bring awareness to so many problems and solutions. My favorite coffee shop was absolutely filled with people, no room to sit, so I grabbed a coffee to go, and I'm in my favorite green space, and I'm gonna do some writing out here. It'll be nice. Creative rest, as a creative, means allowing yourself to take a break from producing. We are not vending machines. While creativity does have an ebb and flow to it, it also requires discipline. And sometimes the most disciplined thing you can do is know when to take a break from creating. When you take a step back from creating, you allow yourself to be inspired by the world and lives around you, which will help you get past the creative blocks. So when you are ready to start creating again, it doesn't feel forced and it gives you life again. For much of 2022, I needed all 7 types of rest to get me back to baseline. While I still don't know if I've fully shaken burnout, I'm much farther than I was, and I am creating again. There's a season to everything, and the last season required a hard reset, a metamorphosis, a reckoning, to respect the last season's rest, which has paved the way for the next. My videos will be uploaded in seasons to allow for life to happen. So I'll see you in the next episode of this season of my life.